Disclaimer. This is my first video made by using AI voice and no script. The text is all over the place. AI has strange accents sometimes, and I mentioned only few big players, while there are many, many more. I'm learning how to use AI voice cloning and video editing tools. Okay, let's begin. Hey, casual exiles. I'm Winterthane, and I want to talk to you about playing Path of Exile as a casual gamer and why you don't have to be a hardcore gamer to play PoE. But first, since this is my first video, a short introduction is in order. I was born in a hospital very young, and now I play Vidya. And with that out of the way, let's talk about Path of Exile. I have no idea how you found this video, but I assume you're here because you like ARPGs, and you have seen videos about PoE, but you think it's too complex and complicated for you, so you don't even want to try it. What if I told you that you are overthinking it, and while PoE is complex, it does not have to be complicated? In other words, it is complicated only if you want it to be. Actually, your brain is making that for you without your consent, subconsciously, so to speak. So in this video, I will present my point of view on playing Path of Exile as a casual gamer. Point 1. If you saw videos or streams about PoE, it is most likely you saw some big names like Zizaran, Kriparian, Steel Mage, Quinn, Cute Dog, or some other big streamer, and your brain immediately said, "Bro, you need to know and understand all systems that are in the game to be able to play it." And that made you feel overwhelmed and not even wanting to try. While this is a normal brain response, you need to realize that PoE has a lot of content, and you need a lot of hours to get to know everything, or at least the most of things in the game. Those big names in streaming and YouTube videos have tens of thousands of hours play time. So it's normal for them to know a lot about the game. I started playing PoE when there were only 3 acts, then skipped some updates, came back with Steam Launcher, just to record the hours played, then played on and off, skipping several leagues, now standing with little over 2,000 hours under my fingers, but considering myself a noob and a casual gamer. I don't know all the mechanics, crafting nor endgame boss fights, but I still enjoy playing the game because I don't have to know everything. When you watch build guide videos or big streamers, you see all these fancy items and characters with insane damage, but to get there, you need to play a lot. And since we are casual players, we need to step on the brakes and think a bit different. When you have an idea what kind of class or build you want to play, search for a guide, but don't copy it. Look where the passive points are located in the guide. And what should you look for gear-wise? Then during your playthrough, go into that general direction. But take your time and read the passives, then deviate a little. This way, you'll learn what works and what doesn't, and the game will automatically become easier, more understandable, and less complicated. Point 2. Crafting. Pretty much the same principle as for class or build. Take it slow. Again, search for a guide, but this time do what the guide tells you. For example, I watched a guide on crafting by Subtractum called Beginner to Advanced Full Crafting Crash Course. And I learned incredible amount of useful information, which again made the game easier and less complicated, because I started to understand what items are useful for my class or build, and what drops can I simply ignore. Since I'm a casual player, I'm not aiming to get the exact same items as in the guide, but something similar. I will aim for the stats the guide suggests, and this will be more than enough to improve my character's damage and survivability. With this, the game will become easier, letting me progress further, and when I am comfortable with the low-level crafting, I will look up more advanced guides for crafting end-game items. Point 3. League mechanics. PoE has had a lot of leagues or seasons, if you will, and every league brings something new to the table, usually in terms of crafting items, getting items and orbs, or making your character stronger in general. Again, there is a lot of stuff here, and do you need to know everything? Not necessary. You can play and learn current patch league, and when you come to a point where you need to craft an item using a specific league mechanic, search for a guide online and learn that mechanic. Some mechanics are straightforward, and some require more knowledge. For example, I find Delve easier to understand than Betrayal. But once I learned how Betrayal works, I started doing it more and more, for the sake of the items or just to get currency to use or trade. And again, take your time. You don't have to know everything to enjoy the game. Point 4. Use online help and guides. The game is huge, with insane amount of depth, items, builds, playstyles, and so on. And because of that, it cultivated an amazing community that helps new and casual players, as well as the sweatiest of the juicers. You can find information on literally anything you want online, so take advantage of it. It will make your experience playing the game more enjoyable. As mentioned before, Subtractum has very good guide on crafting. Zizeran has Path of Exile University, where he teaches you everything about the game and its mechanics. If you want to make a glass cannon character, you can check Mathil and his builds. And if you want an unkillable ZDPS character, check Quinn's gameplays. Or maybe you just want to experiment and make some strange build, check Balomage. Are minions your thing? Check KA Gaming or Gazi. There are help, videos and guides for everyone. Lastly, point 5. Take it slow. You're not competing with anyone, so take your time and learn the game. You will automatically become faster the more you play the game, because you will become more and more familiar with everything the game has to offer, making you more efficient and knowledgeable. And when you think you are good enough to compete, you can check TYTY Killer or Tai23He and their speedrun tactics. There are also private leagues every now and then, one of the most known being Zizeran's Gauntlet. It is brutal, but more than that, it's damn good fun. Okay. Enough yapping for the first video. What I wanted to say is don't be scared of the game, even though it is huge and complex. Take your time and eventually you will learn enough about the game, you will get comfortable with it, and you will enjoy it more and more. And in the end, the game is free to play. So just try it for a bit and you will see if it's something you like or not. Okay, thank you for listening. If anyone wants me to make another video, I'll be happy to do it. Until then, remember.
Learn, adapt, improve.